So I need a lectern. Thank you again, all of you, so much for coming here tonight. I'm Jackie Spicer. I'm the Director of Development at MakerEd, and I'd like to say a special thank you to Dale for the words that he just gave us. If it weren't for him and the other founding board members of MakerEd, including Tony DeRose and Jane Warner, who are both here tonight, MakerEd wouldn't exist, and certainly the Maker movement wouldn't be what it is without Dale. So big thank you to you. So I just want to build on some of the things that Dale has said and reiterate, as he has said elsewhere, that we are all makers by virtue of being born human. But it doesn't mean that we all get to believe in ourselves as makers, that we all get to make as much as we might. Because while humans are hardwired to be curious explorers of our environments, to be constantly learning, we know that all over the country there are millions of kids who are disengaged and disenfranchised, who are overpressured to achieve high test scores and top grades. And this in turn means that they are not developing the essential qualities, knowledges, and skills they need to face the rapidly changing and challenging world that we all find ourselves in. They're often not learning how to think critically, how to solve problems, or how to work collaboratively. And we here at MakerEd, from countless educators who struggle in this environment as well, they have a hard time doing the teaching they really, really want to do because they find that they are working within a constrained system and they don't have the resources or the support that they need to bring the joy and excitement of learning back to their educational spaces. At MakerEd, we know that we can do better. In fact, we envision every youth having engaging learning experiences that collectively develop their skills, their knowledge, their ways of thinking, and that recognize and value their ability to influence the world. We envision every educator having the resources and the support they need to bring engagement and joy back to the learning environments that they're in. What you might have experienced tonight in the makerspace today here should not be so far removed from what a math class is, even in a public school. And so we at MakerEd have set as our goal to help educators in 3 ways: by providing training, resources, and a community of support that will allow them to create exciting and engaging learning experiences for all young people. And we work to do this at scale by focusing on a train-the-trainer model and easily accessible online resources, because we know that every educator we support is going to reach hundreds, even thousands of youth. In fact, in 2015, we reached about 250,000 youth and families through our programs. We have lots of qualitative metrics that will show that our programs are working and that making is working. But we also love to hear the qualitative stories and the qualitative differences our programs make. Educators tell us all the time, and I heard some of these stories tonight from some of you, about formerly insecure kids who take leadership roles and uncover their passions, or about disruptive and distracted kids who find focus and delight in learning, and of educators themselves who rediscover the reasons they became teachers in the first place. So let me give you a couple of concrete examples from some programs that have benefited from participating in MakerEd programs. Wilson County Public Libraries in small town rural Texas has tripled their attendance to the library since they brought in making programming, even opening 2 new library branches in 2014. Parents and children are traveling up to 45 to 50 miles every day just to participate because there was nowhere else for them to find these programs. And in Virginia, in Monticello Public High School, the library was not very well attended. However, after working with MakerEd, this changed dramatically. In fact, the assistant principal now has to give out tickets to grant kids library access because the space is regularly reaching the limits that the fire code allows. These changes do not happen by accident, and that's why MakerEd's programs all have this as their shared goal. to give educators the training, the resources, and the community of support they need to facilitate these kinds of learning environments. We believe that by giving educators the tools they need to create more maker education opportunities, we get to participate in creating a world that is more curious, more joyful, innovative, and collaborative for youth and educators and parents and industry alike. And now I'm very pleased to be able to present to you a short piece about one of the youth who has benefited from Maker Ed's Youth Makers program. It's called A Story of Why Making Matters.
I always hear like big noises in the room, and you hear a bunch of hammering and then building and drilling.
One time I was hammering something and then I was like, wait, this is a good beat. And so I started hammering random things in my lab. What's similar between music and making is that they both have the ability of freedom. You could do whatever you want. I'm Sasha, I'm 14 years old, and I'm going to the 10th grade. The first time that I knew I had test anxiety was in 8th grade. It was our midterm for English. And I studied really hard for it, and I just remember sitting down at the test, my hands were shaking, and I just was freaking out, and then got a really bad grade. I was going on a trip with my family, and I remember just walking through a cave, and I see a little hole inside the cave. So I asked the cave guide, what's behind that? Is there like another room or something? He's like, we don't know. We don't want to destroy the caves. And I was like, Dad, why don't we build a robot that can go inside there and scan the cave and map it out so we know if the cave is worth being destroyed for that small hole or not?
I saw Sasha building stuff. I'm like, hey, I can build stuff also. My name's Alina. I'm 10 years old and I'm going to 5th grade. A creative person can be anyone, I think. No one has to tell you what to do. You can just build anything you want. 1, 2, 3, fire! Right now, my mom just gave me a VCR player, and it was all broken. And right now, I'm trying to take it apart and understand the components. My name is Kai. I'm 11 years old, and I'm going to 6th grade. This is like a big problem to me. When it gets overly hard, I feel like it's not going to be possible. I don't give up because I always know if you just keep trying, you'll get it one time at least. Before I started the project, I felt like I wasn't the making type. I felt as if I was incapable of building something. After I built the project, I felt stronger, and that boosted me up and saying, hey, you know, I can actually do something. I feel more free when I'm making.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Chang. I am Maker Ed's Director of Programs. And I'm really excited to see and meet a lot of you here today. Thank you so much for coming. I personally met Sasha through one of the Young Makers programs and events that we ran in the Bay Area. And we were so inspired by her work and her talent and her tenacity that we couldn't help but feature her and invite all of you to meet her as well. So, without further ado, please welcome Sasha Jaffarove. And of course, she's wearing a blinky light. Thanks. So, Sasha, tell us a little bit about yourself beyond what's featured in the video.
Yeah, Yeah. Alright, so I'm Sasha Jaffarove. I'm in 10th grade and I really enjoy making art, any form of science really. I'm kind of obsessed. And I feel like just making is like an outlet for me. And, I love sports too. Yeah, that's fun.
So tell us a little bit more about how you got into making and why you like it.
So I guess I've been making ever since I was like really little. That's like the first thing that my parents tell me I was really good at. Like I would always put paper clips in water and stuff and just see like, hey, what's gonna happen? Yeah, I like making because I feel like it's a way to, change and like improve the world around you, You can inspire the people and get the people involved. It's a great way of community building. And you can channel like creativity into it, and it's very free. No one's really judging you. There's no instructions. No one's telling you like how to make something. It's just all you. It's kind of like you get to express yourself through making.
So in our video, and when I last talked to you, you were focused a lot on your cave mapper robot. But could you tell the crowd today kind of where it's gone and where you're taking it?
Yeah. So the cave mapper was a project I started like, I don't know, a while back, I should say. I got the idea when I went in a cave when I was like in 4th or 5th grade, and I was like, yeah, as you guys heard in the video, that all happened, right? And then, so I built that, and now I'm actually building my newest version, and recently I've decided to put it on a quadricopter or a drone, whichever one, it's the same thing. And basically, I'm planning to fly it through a cave and map the cave while it's flying. And actually, recently I went to science fair, and I met a couple. Like, I love science fair because you get to collaborate with other people, and like the judges like help you improve your project. And so I met a couple really, really smart, like ingenious judges and stuff, and they're like, hey, why don't you go talk to this person and this person? And so I went and go talk to that person, and then I joined like an air club, like an air modeling club, and so now, yeah, they're gonna collaborate with me on my project. So.
Very cool. And where do you hope to take it? What's the plan?
So the plan is in the future to really perfect this project and like produce at least 200 and send them to caves all over the world so they can map the caves. I found another purpose for it also. So in caves, for instance, in caves, like you can't breathe because of carbon dioxide poisoning and stuff. Like there's barely any oxygen down there. So if you fly like what's it called, if a drone or something flies down there, it can map the cave and it doesn't touch any cave walls, so the cave is preserved. And yeah, so that's the plan.
So you can both capture what the cave looks like, kind of understand all of that, and you don't put yourself at risk too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Sasha was telling me, and it kind of comes full circle, which is pretty awesome, that she was interested in starting a Young Makers Club at her school in Santa Cruz. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I tried to start a Young Makers Club at my school, but I started a bit too late in the year, and so I didn't have a teacher to facilitate, but I'm going to try it again next year. And I'm also going to try to start one in the Santa Cruz area around my school, like rent a space or just like, I don't know, I guess you could do it in a park or anywhere really. And that's the cool thing about makerspaces. And yeah, so basically I know a couple people, I've already talked to a couple people who are interested. And I'm going to go to a maker fair in Santa Cruz on this Saturday, I think. And I'm going to talk to a couple people there who said they can help me start it. So it's going to be really soon. It's going to get going.
So if you don't have anything that you're doing this weekend, feel free to join Sasha down in Santa Cruz at the Mini Maker Fair. Thank you so much, Sasha. It was wonderful to talk to you, and welcome, and thank you for coming. And I'd also like to introduce Tony DeRose, who is a founding board member of Maker Ed and also the founder of our Young Makers program. He's a senior scientist here at Pixar. Welcome, Tony.